This is Jackie Cooper with Crypto Mom, and I want to welcome back Rob Yates. I've had continuing conversations with him on a variety of my podcast talk show platforms, from Love Travel Scotland to where he shared his awesome outdoor adventures of kayaking around Scotland and doing some other really fascinating trips. And then also we've had a conversation on Jay Cooper Travels, and we talked about how he is an avid outdoors person and how he created this wonderful Facebook group that he'll share more information about. So that way individuals all around the world can post and talk about their experiences, both the soft side in terms of just being out in your backyard, to the extreme side of snowboarding and doing some really crazy but exciting things. So today we are going to be talking about our crypto journeys. And for those that don't know me or haven't new to the podcast Crypto Mom, I'm on a variety of social platforms, and my background's, I'm a lawyer, and I'm also an educator, and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I've always been curious about cryptocurrency, but I didn't take the first step into the cryptocurrency world until last June, when I met an individual in Scotland, a vet, and she had been investing in gold and silver and crypto for a number of years. And she was kind enough to answer questions that I had, really probing questions, to make me feel comfortable about taking the first step. So the purpose of Crypto Mom is to share my journey in this world, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that I'm learning about wallets, about just anything, and my struggles and my successes. So that way, as you start on your journey, if you're new to it, you can have some insight. And if you're experienced, there might be new things that I stumble on that maybe you're not aware of because of the individuals like Rob that I'm talking to who are involved in different areas. So just to give you a quick overview, and then I'm going to bounce it over to Rob. I'm learning about farming. I'm learning about mining. I'm learning about DeFi. I'm learning about altcoins, the grandfather or grandmother coins, whatever you want to call them, from Bitcoin to Ethereum. You know, it's an exciting world, and you know what they're doing with blockchain. It's more than just mainstream right now. And I think everyone needs to learn more about how to financially diversify and include cryptocurrency within their diversification, because again, our financial knowledge is not always taught when we're younger. So I think as individuals, we really need to learn more about the financial world so we can take control over our financial future. So anyway, with that being said, Rob, welcome. I'm so excited. Your background is so diverse. Why don't you share with everyone what you're doing and how you got involved?
Cool. Thank you for having me, Jackie. It's great to be talking to you again. Where to start? So I'm an adventurer at heart, or an explorer at heart. I often think I was born 150, 200 years too late, because at heart I feel like a Shackleton or somebody like that, you know, going to the North Pole for the first time. And all of that originally started with exploration in the outdoors. And over the past 16 years, the outdoors that adventurous bit has taken me into the adventure of finances, the adventure of business, the adventures of entrepreneurship. And where I sit today is, as you rightly mentioned, Jackie, I'm a co-owner in We Get Outdoors, our adventure sports business, which people can go to wegetoutdoors.co and check that out. But I also co-own a pretty successful coaching and consulting business in the financial services world. And so I know this world quite well, although it's not normally what I speak about, because it's normally the secret thing that I have tucked away, is that coaching and consulting in the financial services world. But it would be fair to say that we work with a handful, 6 of the world's largest finance houses. And when I say largest, I mean genuinely largest. So yeah, that's about me, and that's my background, and that's where I play, really.
Well, and you forgot to mention you're in South Africa. And so, you know, one of the things that I love about talking with individuals from around the world is I'm talking with you today in South Africa. I talked a few days ago with someone in Taiwan. So the globe is becoming very small. And when I first started in the currency exchange area, I realized I was doing that when I started to personally travel, because I would exchange my dollars into euro or into another currency, and then I would exchange them back. So, you know, from a really simple individual perspective, I was participating in foreign exchange. And then I started to learn more about the computer platforms and foreign exchange, and how banks and other individuals were making a lot of money doing that. I personally decided I really didn't want to get involved with the formal form of exchange. But when I became involved with Bitcoin, which is the altcoin that I've made a small investment in. And one of the things I will say is a disclaimer here on the show: I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I say is personal opinion. So again, any profit disclaimers or sharing or whatever, it's all from my personal journeys. But with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a new altcoin. It got started in March of 2020. It is registered and licensed in Estonia. Only about 1% of the coins in the cryptocurrency world are registered and licensed in a variety of countries. And Bitcoin is on right now 7 different platforms. CoinMarketCap, it's on page 7 or 8, and it started on, I think, page 48 or something like that. And when I first invested in June, it was at 0.41 euros. Now it's at 0.83 euros. So it has definitely increased. It has a built-in ecosystem. And I did not know the difference between a digital coin that had an ecosystem and one that doesn't. And Bitcoin does, which means that you can naturally use it on gift cards, on travel, on real estate in Turkey now, and in a variety of other products and services. Some other coins, what I learned is you have to actually move it to a platform where you can actually use it. Now, Bitcoin, which is different than Bitcoin now is being used to buy real estate. You know, it's more and more people are using it in a utility way. But when it first started, it was, you know, not so, you know, people like me, I thought, oh, it was cute. Where's it going to go? When did you get started? How did you decide to take your first step? And what made you so courageous? Because for me, I was kind of scared at first.
So I think that it's important to know that the idea of cryptocurrency and blockchain and whatever else isn't anything new. It's actually been going on ever since the banks started putting all of their systems and processes and our money into computers, is actually when cryptocurrency started. And for me, the major difference that I had to wrestle my head around is if I play the Forex game, Jackie, as you mentioned, so I buy dollars with pounds, and then when the market changes, I then sell the dollars back and, you know, make a profit. Those currencies have a financial backing of the country in which endorses that pound or that dollar or whatever else. And so the biggest wrestle for me was, well, what is this thing that isn't actually backed by anybody or anything?
You're right. That's a question that I've gotten asked by individuals saying, well, it's not real, you know?
And the answer is yes and no, because the moment that you can use it to buy something tangible, it actually does become real. Mm-hmm. And the thing that struck me with all of the crypto or digital currencies is that, you know, if you do Forex, I'm relying on the integrity of, let's just say, the American government to manage its dollars well, for me to be able to play the Forex game, which really means I've got all my eggs in one basket. It's in the American government's basket. And if they choose to be a bunch of numpties or idiots, then my Forex can go that way. the difference really comes with crypto is that it's not in one party or one government's control. It's actually in all of our controls. And we see that recently. You know, Elon Musk just bought $1.5 million billion dollars worth of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
And so you could say that when you invest in a cryptocurrency, you almost become a shareholder in that currency, and then carry part of that shareholding responsibility that comes like it would be for a normal business. And when I wrap my head around it like that, I was like, well, okay, that makes sense. I already invest in some other stocks. So this is just another Apple or Facebook or Amazon, really. Because I think we have to demystify and simplify digital currencies and cryptocurrencies so that we actually can put them into a pot where what we're doing is actually relatable to something we know and understand.
I agree.
And so for me, that was a big thing. Now, the thing that tipped the balance for me is my next door neighbor, who's 10 years younger than me, bought the house next door to me, or the property next door to me, in cash off the back of the money he made in Bitcoin. And so, you know, I mused with it and thought about it. And then there he is dropping $500,000 on a new house to him next door to me in cash, 10 years younger than me.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, right, I've got to take this a bit more seriously now, because if he can do it, I can do it.
No, you're right about that.
But I also think that it's, you know, the general advice, if you buy single stocks, let's just say in Facebook, for argument's sake, as a large single stock that you could buy, you wouldn't and shouldn't go and put your entire life savings into a single stock. You should spread your risk. And I view crypto just like that. It's a 20%, maybe 15 to 20% part of my investment world, where I have traditional investments as well as crypto and property and business and, you know, low risk. For me, it's not 401k, but similar to a 401k.
Yep.
Because unlike the dollar or the pound, where we can track back over the past 200 years and look at its growth and where it's likely to go to in the future, we don't have that historical evidence with crypto yet. And so it does fall as almost a single stock that you buy that's at a higher risk than if you were to invest in a stock portfolio, for instance. So yeah, those are some of my little thoughts in and around how I view it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And some of the things that you mentioned, I just want to point out, it is very similar, even though in the United States, the laws dealing with cryptocurrency, I'm not an expert in, even though I'm a lawyer, I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency law, because it has been changing, and it changes by state as well as on the federal side. However, cryptocurrency is not always considered, it's kind of confusing here in the States. It's not considered an investment like shares, like stocks. However, it's a different animal. So the IRS classifies it on one side, and then there's other agencies that classify it on another. However, taking away the legal definition and the tax consequences, which you always need to talk to your accountant for, from the perspective of shareholders, I agree with you. Like with Bitcoin, I earn passive income from it. So when I put in a certain amount of money, I actually own coins, but they are also paying me 0.5% daily earnings, passive income on the growth of the coin, because the company Bitcoin actually does trading. So I give them permission once a week. I click a button, and they then have permission for that week to trade the coin. So I earn passive income on that. I also, now with this model of this coin, unlike other coins, this coin actually I can build as a business, because it has a partner aspect to it. So if I'm able to talk to other individuals and they say, yes, I would like to to look at holding some of these coins, then when they purchase a package or invest in a package, however you want to define it, then there's a residual that I'm able to enjoy. The company pays me for the fact that I've introduced the package. So there are a lot of other business models that use that sort of concept of, rewards. But again, I do view myself as a shareholder within Bizcoin because it's a coin that is growing, that and I can see the company's vision. Now, for those that maybe have never gotten involved with coins, there are about 8,000 different altcoins. They should all have white papers, which is the company's vision, the coin's vision of where they're going to go and their background. And when you decide that you want to invest in a coin, read that white paper to see what the vision is and who the people are, because there are coins out there which might have a white paper, but the money might not be secured or locked up in a way, and they can walk away with it because anyone on some platforms can create an altcoin, and there's no protection there. So when you are looking at advising your clients on what kind of coins to look at or platforms to work on, what do you normally suggest that they do? Or do you have, I know you're saying that this is like a risky area, so that's how they need to view it, but how do you kind of manage that risk?
So I think that the financial services sector over the past 70 years has progressively encouraged us to become dumb when it comes to money and how it works, why it works, when it works, where it works, everything. And I don't use the word dumb lightly. I seriously mean it. And, I didn't get taught something as simple as like compound interest at school. It wasn't until I'd left school that compound interest, and I'm like, oh. And so I think that people should, with any investment that they're going to make, step number one is get educated.
Yep.
That's step number one. Get educated. Step number two is get realistic. Get rich quick schemes normally follow by get broke faster. So don't look for a get rich quick scheme. Look for a something where, yes, you can beat what the bank or the stock market would give you in terms of a return on investment, but don't look to be greedy, because what normally happens when people try to get greedy is they get burnt very quickly. Yep. And I think the problem is that the stories we hear about are people who weren't greedy but got lucky, and like maybe my next door neighbor got lucky, and so I personally don't invest on luck. I'm not a big believer in luck. So so number one, get educated. Go and read some books. I don't know, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a great starting point. Get realistic, and then when you want to go and put your money somewhere, go do it like you're going to get slowly into a cold swimming pool. So you're going to kind of put your toes and feet in first and acclimatize. And then you're going to go down a step, and at each stage you need to be learning and also reviewing what you're doing to say, is this working, is it not? What's happening? And slowly ease yourself into it, ensuring that you have enough cash left that if this thing does go upside down, and let's just be honest about these coins, is they are just like a business. Yes. Businesses go bankrupt, and you can lose everything if you invest in a business.
Yep.
The coin is no different.
Yep.
So if I was to come to you, Jackie, and say, hey, I've got ABC trading where we're going to go and buy up half of China and then sell it to Vietnam, would you be interested? Here's what our projections will look like. You will you won't jump in with both feet. You'll ensure that you manage your risk. And I suppose I'd encourage people to treat coins or crypto just like that. It's just like a business that could go bankrupt. So spread your risk. Maybe have, so if you want to dabble, maybe have some money or half your money you feel comfortable investing in established coins with a proven track record for as long as crypto's been around for, and then maybe dabble in some new ones as well. But I think you have to think about it like it is a business, like a tech business, actually, in Silicon Valley that you're investing in. And we all know that, I don't know, 40 out of 50 tech businesses go bankrupt.
Yes.
And that's not me saying at all that people should not do it.
Yes.
It's saying be responsible, get educated, and give it the respect that it's due.
And I totally love the idea of what you just said about treating it like a pool that you're getting into, putting your toe in, getting comfortable with it. That's how I felt in June, where I, this was my first experience with investing in a coin. I only put a small amount in. I knew that when I was going to be putting the funds in, that I was willing to lose it if something happened. And I was at my comfort level. And that's something that I always tell anyone that that I'm associated with, is make sure that, like you said, that you are, you have your cash reserved, preserved. And that if you are going to be doing this, that you start small, just to test the waters, like you said, and get comfortable. And that's been part of my journey. I started with this and I kind of learned a little bit more. And now I have 2 wallets opened and I'm learning a little bit about different coins, and I'm only putting small amounts. And when I say small amounts, it's like $10, $5. I'm kind of learning how wallets work, how all these concepts work, how to move it from one place to another, because again, I'm like in kindergarten. And, as a teacher, I know that we learn how to read by learning our ABCs and our sounds, and then we put it together for words, and then we start to put sentences together, and we have reading comprehension. I feel like I'm in crypto kindergarten right now. So 3 years down the road, I'll be in 3rd grade and I'll know a little bit more. So, again, we're always learning.
Can I give people a little strategy that I've developed and learned for them to go use that is safeguarding you? So quite a few years ago, I got the opportunity to go to Royal Ascot, which is a very fancy horse race in the UK. Everybody's suited and booted. The Queen comes, so on and so forth.
I almost had a chance to go there, just to share with you.
If you ever get it, you should go.
I'll just interrupt you for a quick second, and then I'll tell the story. When I was on a train with my daughter, we met 2 people, all dressed to the nines with the top hat and everything else like that. And that's what I love about traveling, like you and I have talked about, is you talk to everyone, and they were, really nonchalant. We were having a conversation, and they said, I asked where they were going. They said to that event, and I hadn't, experienced that before. And they said, do you want to go? I said, we're not dressed for that. And we didn't take them up on their offer. I should have, but it was like, that was something that was kind of exciting and unexpected. Anyway, go on.
So it was my first time going horse racing. And as we would all know, betting is a part of going horse racing, as is normally drinking too much wine. And a good friend of mine who's been horse racing a lot, when we went to the ATM or the cash point machine beforehand, he said, draw out £5 per race, plus whatever money you want to spend on food and drinks. And so I drew out £60. There was 12 races. And he said, right, now just imagine you've set light to that money and it's all gone. I'm like, okay. He said, right, now you've got £5 that you can bet on every race now, and you've already set light to it, so it's gone. And if you want to invest or put more on a horse, then you have to have earned more by winnings from previous races.
Yep.
And so I took that approach to crypto. So I bought $500 worth of Ethereum. And the very first thing I did was sat on it for about 18 months.
Yep.
And till I ended up with the equivalent of $1,000.
Exactly.
And then I took my original 500 out and put it back in my bank account.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
That's it. And then everything now that I'm playing with, investing, moving from wallets into different coins, coins back into wallets, so on and so forth, is all money that really isn't mine.
Exactly.
And so now I've got just under $15,000 worth of crypto, which has all grown out of this effectively 500 that wasn't mine originally.
That's right.
And if I lose it all, I've lost nothing. And I've managed my risk, and I only let myself play with the money I've made rather than just keep digging into my bank account.
I totally get that, and I agree with you. And for those that have gotten involved with me in different projects, I share this very same philosophy. Whatever you put in, take out after you have that profit. So that way you have preserved your profit, and then everything else is quote unquote gravy. So, so for everyone who's new to the podcast and the YouTube, the contact information for Rob and all of his various projects will be in the block below, as well as mine. And Rob, I know we're going to have continuing conversations. Thank you so much for being here. You are a gem to be on and a joy to talk to. You have so much wisdom and experience, and I look forward to our future conversations. Any last minute thoughts that you want to share with our listeners?
Go become a financial learner, and your world will change about you. That's it from me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. All right. Thank you. And everyone, be sure to subscribe and like so you can stay tuned to future episodes. Thank you so much.